Alright, so first question. What's something that's influenced you in your art that you never got to talk about before?
Whoa.
Good question. Good first question.
Yeah.
Do you have...
I'm trying to think. Something that has influenced that I've never talked about before.
I mean, there's lots of things that we have talked about a lot. I mean, I reckon, like, our band is very influenced by other bands. So, I guess that comes up a lot, who your influences are and things like that. Trying to think if there's anything real crucial that, like, I think, like, this isn't really something that's that crazy, but I think a big part of our band has always been to kind of work fast and kind of, like, not always first idea is best idea, but, like, actively try not to spend too long workshopping or, like, chopping things around because you sometimes lose that kind of first spark. Which I guess that's probably a big influence on what we do, even though I don't really know what that is.
Yeah, what is not overthinking an influence or something?
But then I also think overthinking is also a big influence on this band.
Don't overthink to start, then overthink lots at the end.
When people discover delivery, what's the first thing you want them to think?
Whoa. Maybe that's the answer. Whoa. I would want them to think, damn, this band rocks. What do you want?
There you go.
Yeah.
I saw you guys are selling footy shorts with this album. Is there an influence sport has had, or particularly footy, on the band at all?
I reckon this band is such like a not sporty band that it's almost funny and ironic to have footy shorts as the band merch.
But, I mean, that is true. I mean, maybe some of the other members of the band won't be that pleased to be described as really not sporty. But Liam, who drums in the band, designed them, and he kind of... I don't know whether this was intentional or not, but quite quickly after he joined the band, he was just wearing these random footy shorts he'd bought at an op shop to, like, all of our shows. I guess because they were comfortable to drum in. And then we were trying to think of interesting merch ideas. And yeah, the shorts came up. But I think, like, everyone in the band has probably had, like... I mean, I was, like, a crap footballer when I was a kid. And I think maybe a few other members were.
Yeah.
And, like, Geordie, who's in the band, plays a community cup every year for the Megahertz. So, like, I guess we hold football and football attire quite closely despite not being very good at it.
Yeah, and maybe Liam wearing footy shorts when he plays, and I've been wearing the footy shorts when we're playing now, is some sort of thing about delivery playing is like doing sport.
Wow, I mean, I don't agree.
It's a workout.
It's a great idea for merch. I've never seen that before for an Aussie band, so I think it's a great specific niche sort of merch idea.
Yeah, and very Australian, I guess.
Yeah, and
that's always a great thing.
It's a funny one because, like, weirdly, there's lots of room to put, like, your band name on. Like, we actually managed to be quite creative with a pair of footy shorts because there's so many different kind of, like, classic
You can
footy
be like the team, the club, and the sponsors.
Yeah, we've used every kind of part.
Yeah.
What other art forms outside of music are you guys interested in?
I guess all art is good. I studied fine art when I was at uni, so a lot of, like, photography and painting there. Screen printing I really like. We played at this place in called Vera in Groningen recently, and they do, like, all their own, they have, like, in-house designers and screen printers. So for every poster they, like, design a poster and then screen print it upstairs and then, like, put them around the venue, and you can take some home and everything. And that's one really special thing that was really cool. That's another art form that blended in with what we were doing quite easily, I guess. And I guess, I don't know, there's so much screen printing in relation to bands, whether it's shirts or posters or stuff like that, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I studied creative writing, so I guess writing is an art form that maybe our band is passionate about. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like we're fairly as a whole group, I feel like we're all fairly like invested in like music and arts scenes. So like, I guess there's always a bit of like crossover in different worlds.
I think there's a few film buffs in Delivery too, so maybe just throw film out there as well.
In another interview I saw you guys do, you visited Poison City Records, one of the best record stores in Melbourne. Do you have any other favourite local record stores you'd recommend?
Oh my god, there's so many good record stores in Melbourne. Poison City is great. Lulu's just closed down, but our friend is reopening, actually I think tomorrow night, a store called Candy where Lulu's is going to stock records there. So I think that will be a hot tip to go check out. Strange World Records, Record Paradise. It's where I always go to buy presents.
Rocksteady.
Rocksteady is great. O'Gene is another favourite.
Anyway, I mean, there's so many. We're very spoiled with record stores, and I feel like we're lucky that lots of the local stores will take, kind of not take a chance, but like will get on board local or like hyper local stuff, which is very appreciative when you start a new band and you make a 7-inch or whatever, and people are already keen to stock it.
It's cool.
Was that real noisy?
Do you think he's done? You guys have been active in a number of different local projects before starting Delivery. What do you think it is about the Melbourne underground and DIY scene that's kept it so strong over the years?
Probably a lot, probably heaps of things, and you probably could like, I feel like it's the kind of thing you could probably write an essay or something about. I think the Melbourne scene particularly, which, because we've been able to travel a lot over the last couple of years, you kind of see different versions of music communities and how it works. But I think Melbourne's kind of unique in that we, for the most part, like it's a very like venue-rich city, and I think for the most part, there's not much rivalry. I think, especially when you get into the proper community elements, everyone's really supportive, which means there's kind of like bands are playing together or doing unique, like it might be a punk show, but then the next week one of the punk bands is playing with an electronic act, and there's all of these, or a DJ, and all of these crossovers are happening, and people don't seem to think that's a strange or like bizarre thing, which makes I think it makes it quite supportive, I guess it's really supportive really easily, and at the same time I think a lot of people are doing it purely as like it's something they're like, it's their creative thing, but it's also their social thing, and they might be ambitious, but they would probably do it anyway.
Yeah, I think the social aspect of it is really massive too. Like every band I've ever been in has just come via being at the pub or being at another band show or hanging out with friends that you're a friend of in one band, and then you meet a different one of their friends or something. So I feel like if you want to get into it and be part of it, we can just go see a show, and then it's kind of not as easy as that, but you're really it's easy to put yourself out there.
Yeah, it's also really I don't know if this is a term, but like self-feeding, where like people within this community are investing in the community, which is creating more elements of it, which makes it so special.
What's the best live show each of you have ever been to?
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Not like attended, not played?
Attended, yeah.
Cool.
I was thinking about this actually just yesterday because the Hives announced that they were coming back on tour, and I was like, that has got to be one of the best shows I ever saw. The Hives supporting AC/DC at, it must have been probably called something different that it is now, like one of the stadiums,
Telstra Dome
or something. And I reckon that was one of my favorite shows because I feel like they were a support act playing to a crowd that just wanted to see AC/DC and won everyone over, and seeing it from the beginning to the end of the show was just incredible and very inspiring as an artist now.
So
how to work a crowd.
So your favourite show of all time isn't seeing AC/DC, it's seeing the Hive support AC/DC.
Yeah. Well, I mean, AC/DC was good, but you weren't seeing AC/DC in their prime, so you had to enjoy it for what it was, but you were really seeing the Hives in their prime.
Cool.
But also, that's just like top of the brain first thing I thought of. So there could have been something better.
I mean, I kind of am tempted to think about like some of like the really local shows we've been to where it's like I remember there were a few years ago, friends of ours who run a label called Tiny Town put on a show, which was this band Gamgee's album launch, but also our friends Eggy played and a bunch of really good bands played. And that was one of those nights where you just I think it was at the Toad or something, and you're just at the pub and all your friends are there and every band rules. And maybe not like a significant life moment, but like one of those kind of shows where it's just like, all right, like this rules.
The Spoil Sport record festival shows at the Thornbury Bowls Club when Hot Tub's Time Machine did Pass the Parcel. That's probably one of the better moments of live music attendance that I could think of, community based.
When I was 17, I also snuck into the Hi-Fi bar to see the Vines, who were like my favourite band when I grew up. And I didn't drink, like I wasn't sneaking in to get like wasted. I just like got in there underage, went to the front of the front of the barrier, and just like, I don't know, my 17, best night of my life. So the Hives and the Vines, I guess, it goes back to.
And then Spoil Sport, Tiny Town Records.
Yeah.
If you guys could remove or change one thing about the music industry, what would it be?
I mean, there's I don't know. The music industry is a big, scary, and sometimes icky kind of thing. But also, I feel like we've been really lucky to we've played music I've played music like my whole life, and you've been in bands for the last 6 or 7 or 8 years or something. And maybe it's lucky that we didn't get into a band that had to deal with the music industry until we were like late 20s, early 30s, because we've been pretty fortunate that all of it, I guess we know what we want to do, and we're kind of clear about what our morals and values are. So fortunately, most of our music industry run has actually been really kind of nice, and everyone's been actually a music fan and not a seedy businessman.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's lots to be critical of about the music industry, but I also think we've been really fortunate to have had kind of a shockingly good experience with the music industry so far. We're lucky to be here.
Yeah.
As a band, you share vocal duties around quite a bit. How is the decision made on who sings on each song?
We haven't had much chopping and changing of someone writing a song then someone else singing it. So I think it's just there's no decision. It's if you write a song, you sing the song. There's only been one time that James wrote the song and I wrote the lyrics. That sounds like a dare lyric. You write the song, I write the lyrics.
Now, there's been a few occasions where someone else maybe has written music and then someone else
I guess personal effects as well.
Has decided to take the vocal duty, but it's normally pretty obvious who's going to sing it.
Yeah, there's not much real decision making or thought about it. It's just vibes.
Yeah, it's cool having multiple singers though, because then it keeps the show interesting.
All right, last question. Who should we interview next?
Ooh.
Our friends Eggy, who I mentioned before, just put out a really good new album, and they rule, and they're all very lovely people.
I thought that too.
So Eggy's a good choice. I don't know, there's so many bands. I'm trying to think who else is
You should interview Hot Tub's Time Machine. That would be great.
Yeah, Marcus will have lots to say.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who would be a weird interview for you. Eggy are freaks. Our friend Sam plays in a band called Mug, and he's a freak. He'll have things to say.
That's enough.
All right.
Do you guys have anything else you want to mention? Anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Appreciate you having us.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be in Queen's Park, Moonee Ponds.
And finally, I'm glad people like you two are doing things like this. It's cool. I felt like a lot of kind of this kind of stuff disappeared in the last few years. So appreciate what you're all doing for the music scene.
Thank you. And be yourself.
Hell yeah.